This is the first year in 4 that I've returned from the School of the Longhunter, where I'm not standing in a foot or so of snow. Heavy rains have come, and man, this is spring weather. I can't do an episode without doing a wee bit of history. And I got thinking about, every time I go there, I try to put myself in the situation. So it's not just the camaraderie around the fire, the good food, the fellowship, but it's thinking about what it would have been like in the 1700s in that particular fort, when to fort up meant one was going to leave their cabin, their livestock in a lot of cases, most of their belongings, and make their way into, in the case of what we're about to see, Pricketts Fort. And that term fort up, it meant you were going to drop everything you owned at a moment's notice and make your way into that fortification. So if one looks historically at that fort, there were approximately 25 families within a 5-mile radius of Pricketts Fort. Now, the fort itself never was under siege like some of the other ones, but when they did have to fort up, you can think of situations where a cabin meant for a single family would house 3 families. And I try to visualize these 20 or 25 families all in that 100 square foot confine for days, sometimes for weeks. And I try to feel that and get a sense of it. But what I'm going to try to do this time, as I've done the past 4 years, I guess, is try to give you a slight flavor for the School of the Longhunter. As I mentioned, the camaraderie, the campfires, the good food, the history. It's second to none. If you've never been to Pricketts Fort in West Virginia, I highly suggest you make the trip. And if it's out of the way, well, make the trip anyway. It's a great historic site with great people. They were hospitable to me once again, being a foreigner and all, and I quite enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the School of the Longhunter. So here we are capturing a little bit of footage at the School of the Longhunter. Hey, you guys are great.
I come from the land where the land meets the sky, where the eagle and the raven fly free. I come with the moon and the sun are together as our brothers. These things have always been so, as the grandfathers have told us, down to the generations. Hey, all my relations. Wash day.
So this one, we've got to hem the sleeve opening, put the cuff on, and then we can put it into the shirt itself.
Okay. And then cross over. Alright, I can do that. If I can see the eye of the needle.
Button, who's got the button?
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do?
Yeah, when are we going fishing?
As soon as we get back up to Canada,
All
we're
right.
going back up. There's a big camp up there. I heard we can
All right.
fish up there.
No more salt.
Kelly Station. No. There's bigger fish up in Canada.
There are.
Yeah. Yep.
Caught some nice ones last year.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
I am sitting here with Josh Starkey. Josh, thanks for doing this for me, because Josh always has a wee bit of history to share. You live on the actual Louis Wetzel's father's farm.
That is right.
Which is a wee bit of history all in itself. That's a lot of history. But you're going to tell a brief story about a story that occurred on Scalp Creek.
Scalp Creek,
Yes.
yeah.
So, lend an
It's
ear.
about Louis Wetzel's little brother, John.
Okay.
John and Frederick Earlywine, they were little boys, and they were out looking for horses that were loose. And they listened for the bells, and there were some Indians in the area, and the Indians took the bells off the horses and went into a thicket and lured the boys into the thicket. And the boys, when one of the boys named Frederick Earlywine started to cry, and the Indians killed him right there in front of his mother. And then they took John Jr., they took him to Fort Tomlinson, which is Moundsville, West Virginia.
Okay.
They were crossing to the Pipe Creek and going to Ohio country. And some rangers around the fort seen the Indians with a little white boy. They're like, well, you know, what's going on here? So they went, got the boy back and took him back to his parents on Wheeling Creek. So
Yeah, fascinating.
yeah.
Yeah, that's this area. I love coming down here because it's absolutely steeped in history, and
It is.
you're an avid pursuer of that. You're going to take me for a tour, right?
Yeah, I'm waiting on you.
Some of the spots. I'll get down here.
I sit and read at night to tell more stories.
Yeah.
So, and I go to the Marshall County Archives Center. They just opened up, and I spend time down there
Good.
looking for information. I found 4 forts in just Marshall County alone that no one talks about. So
Yeah. I've never met a person with the passion for local history that you have.
I don't know anything about the Revolutionary War that happened up north. I only know the Ohio Valley, Dunmore's War, and just that area of the northern panhandle and the Ohio countries. West Augusta was the name of it.
Yeah, well, you know it well, sir. Appreciate you sharing with me. Thanks,
you.
Josh. Thanks a lot.
Trenton and Princeton was kind of a last-ditch effort to save the Revolution. There's one quote of him in December 1776, writing to a colleague of his, and he says, "I think the game is pretty near up." Therefore, he asked Congress to send everyone available. All the new levies that were raised throughout this expansion of the Army were then ordered to join General Washington there in the outskirts of Philadelphia.
Oh, it's been in your mouth.
Okay, here we sit on the shores of the, I'm going to pronounce it wrong, but the Monongahela River in West Virginia, and I got Ryan Williams with me. Ryan, thanks for doing this.
Great to see you, Mr. Kelly.
And you've been working on a documentary that's soon to be released. Maybe you can shed some light.
Yeah, that's correct. I believe the working title is Always Free.
Okay.
It's done by West Virginia PBS. The target release is around July 4th, 2026. And it's about the story of West Virginia and the founding. Actually, it was Virginia then, but it didn't get its statehood until around the Civil War time.
Mm-hmm.
But I play Andrew Lewis in that, and so look for that movie around July 4th.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Was it fun doing it?
It was excellent. We actually had a little bit of a mishap with a fire at the cabin, but it wasn't because of us. But it was absolutely a blast where we filmed it. We had a lot of good reenactors, and so I'm actually blessed about it.
So the footage is done. Now we're waiting in the wings
Actually,
for the release.
That's a good question. There's a few other scenes they want to capture. So there is some editing to do still. So I still think they're working hard on it. But so there's still some more to do.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say it's totally wrapped yet.
Yeah.
But almost there.
Great. I look forward to it, Ryan.
Yeah, it's
Always
great
look
to
forward
see
to
you.
our paths
Great job,
crossing.
Mr. Kelly.
Thanks for coming down.
Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Heather, what are you cooking up?
We are making a venison roast wrapped in bacon,
Oh my.
and then we have venison sausage in the bottom of our oven. We have cabbage. We have red cabbage and apples in here. So getting warm. And we can't really see it.
No, I can smell it
Can't
though.
smell it.
Yeah, I can smell it.
And then we have, we also have corned beef, cabbage, and onions in here. So I'm hoping this is going to be done. I have not, if you can pull this off. So we've got some corned beef and cabbage in here. So we got 2 corned beef roasts down in the bottom here that should start to fall apart.
And how many people are you feeding?
Oh, probably about 15. So we've got, gonna have enough meat for everybody, and we've got pies.
Yeah, I was going to say, knowing you, I think there's going to be a wee bit of dessert involved here.
There's a mincemeat pie and an Dutch apple pie, and there is bread pudding made with raisin bread. So we've got it all ready to go.
So
Just a few more minutes. And
so what time's supper, Heather?
supper is at 5 o'clock. So in about 15 minutes.
I got 110 in the back. Anybody here for 120, 120, 120, 120? 120, sold 110. Number again, I'm sorry, 133. We'll just leave that there and be safe.
No, I would like it shelved out here where I bought it.
Okay. And you come up and get it.
Alright, so this is a story, it's a story of morals. It's about two sisters. And honestly, it takes place in a place very similar to here in these mountains. I'm from the Great Highlands of Scotland, which the dark and misty mountains we surround us now are very similar to. And so there was a little cottage in the mountains of the Highlands. Well, it wasn't so much in the mountains as it was in the valley, but you understand for the story. So in the cottage lived two daughters and their father. And you see...